Welcome to the Low Carb Studies YouTube channel. Did you know that everything you eat is made out of one of three macros? Those three macros are protein, carbohydrates, and fat. The ketogenic diet or low carb diet views these three macros in unique ways, and every diet you eat does as well. It's a combination of those three macros and with some limits on some. A low-calorie diet would limit all three macros. A low-protein diet might limit protein. Low-carb diet limits carbohydrates. And the very commonly known low-fat diet limits fat. Well, low-carb diet views these three macros in a particular way. Carbs, it sets a limit of typically 30 to 40 grams a day. You can look at food packaging information to find out how many grams of carbohydrates are in something, or the internet's full of that sort of information nowadays. But typically limiting your carbohydrate load to about 30 at the most, and typically 20 or less is a good way to go with low carb. There are disagreements in the low carb ketogenic community about what the right amount of protein that a person should eat is. But typically a number around 1 gram per pound of lean body mass is a good way to go. And you can look up your lean body mass on the internet under the U.S. Navy calculator. There's various calculators online for that. It depends upon how much body fat you have, but lean body mass is the part of your body that is not fat. So if you're maybe your weight is 200-pound male, maybe your lean body mass is 150 pounds, so you have about 50 pounds of fat, 150 pounds of lean body mass. So that would put your protein intake at around 150 grams a day. Some people go quite a bit less. There's no point in going too much higher. The recommended daily allowance is quite low, and studies show that twice the recommended daily allowance is probably where you want to find yourself. So the only other category that's left then is fat. And the way this slide describes fat is probably the right way to look at it. Fat's a lever. If you want to lose more weight, you reduce your fat. If you want to gain weight or maintain, you eat more fat. Probably at some point you could get to where you could eat too much fat. It's hard to imagine that, but it is possible. So finding the balance of these three macros with low carb, moderate protein, which would be high protein by some people's standards, and the right amount of fat to meet your goals as the lever is really what keto is all about. Now, the real other keys here on the bottom are that snacks are for babies, treats are for dogs, and do you even macro? I think we all know what snacks and treats are, and it's putting sort of a tongue-in-cheek notion that the idea of snacking constantly and going after treats is probably not good for our health and nutrition. But do you even macro? That is keeping track of your macros, your fat, carbohydrates, and protein on a daily basis to know what you're intaking and to know what you can correct. That's something that keto definitely would encourage people to do. Maybe not in the beginning, but somewhere along the way you'll end up having to track or wanting to track to keep an idea of where you are. So I hope you find this little slide helpful for coming to understand what the ketogenic diet or low carb diet is all about. Like I said, there's disagreements about each of these categories, but it's very typical that most low carb people would consider 30 or 20 as the carbohydrate limit. And protein, most people that have looked at it have found that it's a good number to be about 1 gram per pound of lean body mass. And fat, again, how much you want to control your weight loss. Hopefully the slide helps you. It helped me quite a bit. Thank you for watching.